documenting a lot of this honestly for myself. I'm a big fan of these little Mazda B2600i four-wheel drive. In my opinion, a truck needs to be four-wheel drive. Is there a time and a place for a two-wheel drive truck? Sure. But as you can see, pretty much everything that I've got here lined up, with the exception of, you know, maybe a 1-ton dually that, you know, I have four-wheel drive versions of it, and then it's nice to have a two-wheel drive just for simplicity's sake. I understand that. But I got a real affinity for these trucks. And a lot of what I find on these marketplace finds is they couldn't find a good mechanic, or they didn't want to pay a good mechanic. Maybe they could find one and they, you know, just didn't have the means or lost faith in the vehicle. But they let this one go for $1,500. I've done several videos on it. I'm documenting a little bit this for myself. And I see a lot of new parts. There's a new gas tank in it. There's some ignition stuff in there. I hit the key and it fired right up. Now, they said it had some differential issues. I haven't verified any of that. Literally, it just showed up on the trailer. I see a new radiator in there. The fan shroud, unfortunately, is gone. It's a very important overlooked part of the cooling system to allow that, obviously safety related stuff aside, but allow that fan to do the correct draw across the radiator condenser to make sure that it's able to pull air through there. It looks like maybe the condenser has been deleted even. We'll see once I get that apart. But it's not running the best. It did start. There's some aftermarket stuff on here that I think somebody was trying to troubleshoot. This is a fuel pressure regulator, and it's very, you'll have to take my word on it, it's very rich with fat coming out of the tailpipe back here. It just smells fuel. Like I said, I've owned one of these trucks, so I know how they should run, and this one doesn't do that. It's really loud, and it's not super efficient. It almost looks like maybe there's a restriction. I don't know if that shows up in the video, where it's not drawing air correctly. It's sucking that muffler. Hopefully the audio is not too terribly bad. But what I see here, and this may be a fairly easy fix, which is why, you know, you can either get burned on marketplace, so you need to buy it very cheaply for the money, or sometimes you get deals on them that, you know, somebody that just doesn't know or hasn't been a 20-year master technician, somebody's been in here marking, and those are paint marks, which is fine. But here, as maybe I can zoom in on that bolt for the distributor advance, which is a really important input on any engine, is when the ignition timing ignites the fire or combustion. It's all the way, you know, either advanced or retarded. I'm not sure which that is and how the rotation is off the top of my head. I have all that in service information. But as well as I even do the video, that wire is hanging on by a thread. Now, this distributor is on a fuel-injected vehicle, but even an older one is a 93, extremely critical. That has to work. So the fact that it runs and will move under its own power is awesome. That makes working on it a heck of a lot easier. I'm gonna jack with that, and we'll do some videos on that. But this is kind of the first impressions. The battery was charged. It fired right up. I mean, it long cranked a little bit, but it fired right up. Interior is honestly in a lot better shape than my other one. This is an aftermarket switch. I don't know what that does. It is a four-wheel drive option, if I didn't say that. I will get the air conditioning working on this thing. These are awesome little trucks. It's always nice to see, if I can get this, bear with me a minute, kind of some of the goodies, you know, extra parts, extra fluids. You know, the fact that there's some bearings there sitting in the seat tells me somebody was probably trying to fix this little truck. You can see multi-function switch there, and they just kind of ran out of patience and really probably know-how more than anything. A lot of shops really wouldn't want to work on this truck. Most shops now, if it's not OBD2, which is onboard diagnostics, starting late 95, early 96, they're not working on these anymore. So as great a trucks as these are, they're a little more challenging. You need to do your homework a little bit more. But once this thing's up and running, for the money versus buying a newer version of this, I mean, these smaller trucks are bringing, you know, $30,000, $40,000. I just don't see it. And they won't do near the work that this one does. I could take this one to the feed store. I could run around town and pick up things I need. Now, it's not got a huge cab on there. I'm 6'3", probably 280. So it's not the most comfortable, but there's plenty of room for even me in there. You put one more person in there, not bad, but that's going to be it as far as cab space. So this is more of a utilitarian, kind of like a enclosed four-wheeler on wheels, if you will. But this is going to be an awesome project, an awesome build, and I'll bring you along for the ride. Definitely give me some love. Hit the subscribe button. Leave me some comments. I want to know what you guys think. And if you don't like what I got to say, you guys are great about letting me know that too.